is episode 210 of the No Hangover motherfucking podcast.
210.
We live, as always. Fucking follow, subscribe, rate, comment. Fucking let me know what you like, what you don't like. If I sound stupid, if I sound smart. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on Instagram at No Hangover. Back on TikTok at No_hangover. Like our shit. It takes us a long way, you know, puts us in the algorithm. So, yeah. And as you see, we have a guest new to you guys, not new to me. He's been behind the scenes a couple times for us before, but now he's in front of the camera. My dog Christian, what's good, brother? Long time no see. That was a good one too. God damn, you already know it's gonna be a good podcast. How you been, dog? It's been, like I said, it's been what, like a year and some change since the last time we've seen each other. We've, we texted here and there a little bit, but yeah, it's been about a year, and life has been lifing.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, it's been about a year, bro. Shooting for you guys.
Yeah.
And then you did your thing. You guys are doing your thing. I guess you had to No Hangover had to find its way.
Yeah. And now here we are, fucking back at it. So just to give a little background, he mentioned that he did, shot some of our podcasts for us. The one that we have up right now is Maestro's Confessions, so check that out. That's a pretty interesting podcast. But the way that we linked up was from my barber Sincere. Shout out Sincere. We were in the midst of, really trying to, like our second or third time trying to find our second wind on this podcast and trying to figure out what direction we were going in. He told me that you were looking for some work, some fucking for your portfolio. And I'm like, well, fuck, I could take the free work. So, so that's kind of how we, got together. So you graduated from Full Sail around that time, correct?
Shortly after.
Okay.
Yeah, I graduated September of last year.
I'll bet.
So it's gonna be a year. It's gonna be 2 years this September. But yeah, I remember when I met you, my day rate was really low.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of worked out in that sense that you were able to put that into your portfolio. We were able to get some some quality camera work and lighting work and all that shit. So
it was okay.
Hey, better than better than what we were doing. So, but yeah, so. Fast forward about a year later, here you are. It seems like you're well into your career, into your field, what you're trying to do. I saw recently that you just got done doing a feature film. I was trying to see, because when the Orlando movie festival was going on, I hit you up because I'm like, damn, this dude he's working on something on here, but I would believe it. So I hit you up, and we weren't able to make that, make the day that your film was coming out that you worked on. But me and my girl did end up going, and we saw one of these indie films, which is pretty interesting. Turn the mic real quick.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, let me stop talking, bro.
You're talking about when I had a documentary.
Yeah.
Oh man, the documentary was actually it was pretty good. I'm not gonna trash talk it, but it had its problems. Yeah, I wouldn't even say that my career is well underway. Like, I think that I'm still like a baby in this.
Yeah.
There's so many things like that I still need to learn. Every single time I work with a new DP, like a director of photography, someone who's in charge of the visuals, the lighting, like every single time I'm on set and it's like a bigger set, I'm like, fuck, bro, I don't know shit compared to these guys. Like they're on set and they're like, I'm on set, right? And I'm watching these people work, and it was like a Christian set. Everyone there is like Christian, not everyone, but like it's like kind of
you're
like
Christian, so it makes sense.
I hate this guy, man. But like I'm working with the DP's dope. He's very paying a lot of attention to detail, and this one guy who he's in charge of. He's the first assistant camera. He's in charge of like the focus and everything. He changes the screen. It's all blue. And he's like, oh, you need to watch. He's like, Brantley. You need to like Brantley. Shout out to Brantley. He's an amazing DP. He's like, oh, you need to watch your IRE. You're dipping low at a 40 IRE. what the fuck is that? Like, I was like, so I didn't know. I told him, I was like, yo, bro, like after he was done, I was like, yo, bro, what does IRE mean? And essentially, I'm not gonna get too into it, but it's basically like the values and like how bright someone's face is or whatever. Okay. It's like a really bad way of explaining it, but
hey, works for me.
But yeah, like when you're on set, when you're learning, you're always learning. I talk to people who have been in the game for 15 years plus, and they always tell me like, yeah, every time I'm on set, you're learning something new. Because I mean, come on, man, like you're using a Sony right now. Like how many, like the next year, there's gonna be a brand new Sony camera that people are looking towards, and then there's gonna be another camera, Red, Komodo, all these other different types of camera. Like things are always evolving, so you always kind of be like on your toes. And I'm not even 2 years into my career. Not even 2 years into my career at all, and I am so new to this, and I feel like there are DPs who probably deserve more of a shot than the opportunities that I'm getting. Not that I'm not grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for all the opportunities that come my way. I'm grateful for all the work that comes my way. But I guess it's imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you know, most people, especially when you're like a driven individual and you want to succeed, you're going to be your own worst critic. So, there's that, because I'm the same way. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for 6 years, and there's still, now that I've been, working with other people that have their own podcasts and shit like that, like, I'm like, oh, shit, like, there's still so much shit that I don't know. And I've been doing this for a while, and like, I could see, when I first started to now the amount of growth that I've had. But like, now that I'm actually kind of, rubbing elbows with people that have the same desire, have the same passion, and, want to succeed as well, it's like, oh shit, like there's still more to learn. There's still things that I need to get a better grasp on. There's still things that I need to be more well-rounded in and things like that. So, I mean, I understand. Like, I feel like that's a good thing. It could be, some people could see it as a negative trait. I think it can, it can be negative, but if you're able to channel it in the right way, that type of, maybe, fear, anxiety, imposter syndrome, whatever it is, if you channel that in the right way, it can, push you to do things that you previously thought you weren't able to do. True. So
like when you doubt yourself a little bit, so you push a little harder to overcompensate, there's a book, it's called Outliers. I believe the author is named Malcolm Gladwell. I could be wrong. Fact check me. But in the book, it talks about like, you aren't a professional at what you do until you basically reach 10,000 hours of whatever craft that may be. So that's kind of like where I get it from, like the feeling of self-doubt, where it's like, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and like 10,000 hours, if you were to work every single day and not like breathe or sleep or eat or anything, that's like, it's equivalent to like 8 to 9 years. So that's why people always say, like, you do something for like 10 years, that's considered, like, you're considered a professional in what you do. And obviously, if you get paid for it. Yeah. Like, if you're like a rapper, but you don't get paid to be a rapper, you're
amateur.
It's like, do you do shows? Like, but I mean, like, you're an artist, yeah, cool. But if you don't get paid for your craft, then it's like, are you really? It's pretty much a hobby at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that right now.
Damn, no diss to you, bro.
Nah, it's the truth though, man. That shit, it's the truth, man. I mean, it's part of the growing pains, and again, it's that I feel like, you have to keep yourself humble. And that's part of it. Like, like you said, you're getting on set, you're starting to do, more things. You feel like you're still a baby in your career and all that shit. But like, all those things, are, part of the process. It's part of, becoming that full potential, that full version of yourself or whatever it's in, whether it's podcasting, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's music, whether it's a sport, whether it's this and that, like, that's, I mean, for me, and I can relate it to sports. There's, especially the first time that, that I'm trying something new, the first time that I started playing soccer, the first time that I started playing football, things like that. I'm like, I thought I was good because I was playing backyard football, playing with my friends and shit, and we, I could make some plays. But then you actually get into something that is a little bit more organized. There's more rules to things. There's this, there's that. There's more nuance to it. You start realizing it's like, oh shit, like I'm just
I'm trash.
Yeah, like I don't know shit. Like, yeah, I might have the raw ability, but to actually like translate it to something that is gonna, what's it called, take me to the next step in this is fucking, that shit's not, it's not hard. It's easy.
It's all right. So when it comes to sports, it's, and I don't know shit about sports. I just know about marketing. And when it comes to, like, I used to work for a marketing company. When it comes to something like sports, your skill just has to be profitable. Mm-hmm. Like if, like you're looking for a soccer player, you're looking for a Cristiano Ronaldo, like you want that person in your team to get you wins because in turn, it's going to help your team. You're going to be able to get sponsorships. It's at the end of the day, it all revolves around money. So like if you're doing a podcast, that's amazing. How do you market it?
Yeah.
Like how do you make it profitable? That's going to be the real question. And like a lot of people, I know a lot of people who want to be content creators, they're actors or they're filmmakers, and they think about becoming content creators. That's amazing, but there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have a split, and you're gonna realize, do I want to do what I love or do what gets me paid? There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, because like you're looking at Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, or like Ronaldo, like they're doing what they love and it gets them paid. But like they're becoming like so skilled in their craft that their skills are profitable.
Yeah.
Like I need to become so skilled in my craft that my skills are profitable. But my skill is a technical skill. Yeah. When it comes to content creating, when it comes to doing podcasts, you have to be creative. And when it comes to being creative, you're creating art, which is subjective.
Yeah.
How do you profit off of something that's subjective? You need to find, like there's people that love Monet as an artist, and there's people that love Van Gogh, but during Van Gogh's time alive, he wasn't successful. Yeah. So you have to find people, like he was successful postmortem, cool, whatever. Sucks for him, but I'm sorry. No disrespect to Van Gogh, he's amazing. But like you have to find those people who enjoy your art.
Yeah.
And if you're interviewing people, like I'm a filmmaker, another person's a rap artist, another person could be into sports. Those are 3 different audiences that you're catering to. So maybe you're like me. So what I find a lot of times is that like people who, like if the audience is kind of like all over the place, your niche audience or that your loyal fans are mostly people that just know you.
Yeah.
So there are 2 things you could do. One, become widely known. Go to conventions. Go to be outwardly social. Networking. I know people hate that word. All it is building relationships. Just being friends with people. But being outwardly social, going out, meeting people, talking to people. There are so many people who think they're interesting.
Yeah.
That you can meet and they're gonna want to be on your podcast. But really, what do you do? Not. I'm trying to be a jerk. I'm just being honest.
Hey, sometimes the truth hurts, brother.
But you could go that route, or 2, you could switch over to what videos work. What do my audience want to see? What do people want to look at? A lot of times it's celebrities, and it sucks. You want to talk about celebrities? It's okay, let's talk about, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds. What's so popular about him? You want to talk about, what was the actress at Snow White? What's her name?
Couldn't even tell you.
Can't talk about the Snow White actress. Don't remember her name. Uncultured. I'm sorry.
Well, she might not be in Hollywood for too much longer, so there you go.
I don't think it's her fault.
I mean,
Disney needs to stop making live action movies. That's my opinion.
Hey, fuck. True. Honestly, slow down. Fucking come up with something original. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. But sidebar. If they're going to make a live action movie, just change the storyline. I saw they came out with Mufasa. I have not seen it yet. But I like that. If they, when they did Maleficent.
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked that movie because it was kind of a twist on a movie that we already know the story.
But when they did Mulan,
that was trash.
I feel, and I didn't watch it, but from what like the clips that I've seen and what I've heard from people is that they changed it too much. They didn't even include Mushu. So then what the
no. It needs to be the same story but from a different perspective.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. Like it's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just like imagine you're watching Superman, right? But now you're watching the perspective as a human.
Yeah.
What it's like to see someone fly over and be like, oh my gosh, they're superheroes now.
There's my car. What the fuck?
Oh my God, I just paid it off. Like, from the perspective of a human, like how it feels to be like, wow, like I feel small, like you know, like whatever, like I don't know, it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like, but obviously that person has to be related to Superman in some way, shape, or form, or else it's gonna be boring.
Yeah.
But just that's it. That's a sidebar, whatever. But yeah, when it comes to profit market, and marketability, it separates to skill and subjective art.
Yeah.
Like that's what filmmaking is. There's a side of it that's totally technical, which I get paid for.
Yeah.
And then there's a side that's creative, which a lot of people want to get paid for, but it's super hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's super hard to get into that field. You know why? Because everyone wants to do that. Like I went to school and in my head, I'm like, I want to be a director. I still do. I still direct my own things and they're like short films and stuff.
Yeah.
And I will direct my own movies, but no one's going to pay me to direct my own movie.
Yeah. You have to do it for the love of that shit.
Unless
for the love of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless I like garner a name for myself or like, I become widely known, like I was just saying before.
Yeah.
And I like do a Kickstarter. I find ways to profit, like to get profit from my movie, to build a budget for my movie. But that also involves with learning the technical, measuring how like if I get this much money, I'll be able to get this camera, these lenses, these people, this location, these permits.
Yeah.
Getting all that technical information out to measure how much money you would need to pull that movie off. And then you show it to the public and you're like, guys, I have this idea for this movie.
Yeah.
Zombies in space. I don't know. I hate zombie movies. But like something like that. Like that's like that's how you. I don't know. I'm rambling.
No, I mean I get what you're saying. Like it's more than just having an idea and crossing your fingers. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. And cause I mean, for example, podcasting. I've had a ton of people, oh yeah, somebody told me I should start a podcast and I mean, and that's how it started with me. Like, I thought I was saying some profound shit. Me and my friends were just talking shit. It's like, yeah, we should record this shit and fucking put it out there. Yeah. Then once you start getting into the grind, the nitty gritty of it, you start realizing it's like, oh fuck, like it's much more than just getting on a mic and talking and having opinions. Like they have to, aside from the obvious like technical stuff, whether it's fucking having the right equipment, having the cameras, the fucking microphones, making sure shit sounds right, making sure things are aesthetically pleasing, things like that. It's like, but now especially when you're giving your opinion, you have to give people a reason to want to listen to your opinion.
You have to provide value. But the thing about value is like I look at that chain and maybe you think it's worth $500. And I might look at it and be like,
30 at most.
$30. Like,
yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I bring up that point all the time. Like things only have value. Things are only as valuable as you make them.
Yeah.
And I use this chain as an example all the time because to me, like this has sentimental value. My dad gave it to me, so like. To me, no
disrespect to your chain.
No, not. I mean, it's basic ass chain, but like it'll.
But the value's a lot higher because it's sentimental.
Exactly.
To you.
So if somebody were to try and come up to me and want to buy it off of me, it would be a hefty price.
Yeah.
But to your point, to somebody else, it might just be like I like it. It's cool. It's cool. $50. I'm like, nah, dog, that ain't gonna fucking do it. I'll pass. So, but I mean, and that goes with anything, with this watch, your shoes, this whatever, like all these things, it's people putting value to it. And some things you can kind of equate, and because it costs this much to make this, and it, so everything put together, if a car, for example, it costs this much to put all these parts together, so I could put this value on it. But to your point, like stuff like art and and things like that, where it's, somebody might want to buy a piece of art for fucking $1.5 million, and it's like, well, how the fuck do you like how'd you come up with that number for a fucking painting? Like, what the fuck? Like like, so and so all these things are so fucking relative to the person and what that thing means to that person.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when Jackson Pollock like just goes psh, psh, psh,
and like, there you go, a masterpiece. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's like my fucking like a little baby could have done this shit. What the fuck? But speaking of art, I did that to women. I don't pay you for it. I saw, what was it, like a couple of days ago, like a dog like fully like painting like flowers and shit like that. Like, it was a Belgian Malinois. Those dogs are smart as fuck, but it's like, I could see that being valuable as fuck, because I mean, I can't even paint that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was fucking, it was pretty impressive. But you see like
talented than me.
for real. But you see like elephants and shit doing stuff like that. But I mean, again, all this shit is fucking relative to the person and what how much value that holds to that person. So I mean, I get what you're trying to say, man. That shit is fucking.
But yeah, but like, man, I could go into a rabbit hole with
go ahead.
The whole thing about value. Holding this right, yeah.
Yep.
Because okay, like how you said, right? How did we get to 1.5 million, right? There's a value that we hold personally, and then there's a value that society holds for certain things, like a car. You brought up a car where it's like, all right, we've agreed for some reason this car is worth $27,000.
Yep.
And then you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, makes sense. Like, there's a whole sociological aspect to that I'm not going to get into. Not the point of what we're trying to do, but it like, that's kind of like what needs to happen when it comes to basically wanting someone to be creative and separating that and becoming technical. Mm-hmm. Because if you can fuse those together and find out like, okay, yeah, I want to be a director. Okay, well, how much does a director make? And like learning that, like, it's like, or like, let's say if you wanted to make a movie, right? In your head, let's say you wanted to make a movie, right? Let's say if someone here wants to make a movie. A lot of people don't know that a $10 million movie is a low budget movie.
Yeah.
That's like, what?
Yeah, that ain't shit. But I mean, again, relative.
I had $10 million.
Relative to the movie industry, that ain't shit. But relative to me and you, it's like, fuck, give me that 10 mil. See what I do with that shit.
Yeah, right. Like, that changed my whole life around. I felt like everybody's good in my family. But like, it's like, let's say like, but could you make a movie with less than that? For sure. Of course.
That movie that I saw for the Orlando movie festival was shot in one take with a fucking iPhone. That's okay. And it was like in relatively low budget, but I mean, just the fact that they were able to do that and, they had to do everything in one take was fucking impressive. So, I think that, to me, I don't know, it's just me as a spectator. To me, that adds value to it, because it's like, you gotta be fucking, you can't fuck up. There's no second take. Like, it's just, we're doing this all the way through, like one shot, one fucking camera. So it's like, to me, that adds value just because of the precision and the skill that you need to fucking make sure everything is falling in place for what, that hour and a half, 2 hours that you're recording.
Yeah, probably more than that. But yeah, one takes are immensely hard.
Yeah.
Extremely hard. Man, I hate when fucking people are like, this was shot on an iPhone. I fucking hate that shit, like, I used to work for a media company, right? And then like my boss, they had like, they gave me like 2 Blackmagic cameras, which cool, yeah, dope, I love it. I'm being grateful. They're not bad cameras. And I would shoot some stuff, and I would like, I would come up with some content, and then he'd be like, oh, like, shoot like this, whatever, da da da. I would do it, but then he'd be like, oh, but like, that was all right what you did, but like, this person shot this on an iPhone. Like, why don't you do that? I'm like,
all right, well,
how about you hire that motherfucker? Like,
for real. Okay. Why don't you go fuck yourself? How about that?
Oh my god! Like, oh yeah, this person shot an iPhone, so everyone should shoot on an iPhone now. Like, no, that's not the way it works. Nah. Like, if you wanted your movie to like, all right, like if you wanted your movie to be sold to Netflix, it has to have a certain
value, like quality.
Quality, yeah. Like, there's a certain, we call it a codec. if like, okay, so you're shooting on this Sony, right?
Yep. Oh, faithful.
I don't know if it shoots in 4K.
I think it does.
Awesome, right? So when you upload it to Instagram, it's going to be brought down, the resolution.
Yeah.
Your phone only shoots a certain type of resolution, and to be in Netflix, you need to be able to go, like, the codec needs to be higher.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that certain codec, they won't accept it.
Yeah.
A lot of other streaming services won't accept it. So when people are like, oh, you should just shoot it on an iPhone, yeah, that'd be cool for like a festival.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to sell that product, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's kind of counterintuitive or like counterproductive to tell people or to influence people. Like, if you want to shoot and learn how to shoot and you're learning, you're starting out, yes, shoot an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, that's
but you know, just like, and I just did a podcast yesterday and he was having to talk. It's like, there's levels to everything. Like, if you want to, you know, climb the ranks in whatever profession it is, like, do you have to, yes, this is good for here, but like once you get to level 2, 3, and 4, like this is not gonna fucking cut it anymore. This is not enough anymore. Like, you need to start learning how to use these, you know, higher tech equipment, or you need to start learning how to, you know, sharpen your skills in this a little bit more. You need to, you know, educate yourself in this area a little bit more, because for this is cool. And yeah, you know, you're able to, you know, showcase your talent and showcase what you're doing. But like, once you get to these levels, everyone's fucking talented. Everyone's fucking good. Everybody knows what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. So how are you going to separate yourself? And I've, you know, again, you know, kind of, you know, tracking back to what you're saying, it's like, you know, people that are, what's it called, like delegating the work to somebody else are only thinking on that level 1. Yeah. They're not thinking on that level 3, 4, and 5, that it's like, okay, well, yeah, well, this is what you want me to do, but these are the tools that you're giving me, so I can only give you this much.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, like, I think why I get paid to do what I do is mainly because of experience and knowledge. Like, there's times where I'm on set and I have people working for me, and I've hired people to work for me, and I always think, like, damn, it's crazy that they're getting paid this much and I'm getting paid this much, but would they be able to do what I do? No.
Yeah.
Okay, like, if I were to leave them alone and be like, figure out a 3-point lighting setup, they'd be like,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck is a 3-point lighting setup? You know, I mean, we don't have a 3-point lighting setup now, but
you could have fucking fooled me. Shit. I see 3 points and it makes sense to me.
This is actually called cross key lighting. I mean, it's done horribly. Don't judge this lighting at all. But
it's just for the vibe more than anything. Don't even.
Yeah, that's what it is. I do best what I can. I mean, there's a lot of I don't know what they call it. There's like a name like Gorilla, whatever. But it's basically, a lot of times I do like DIY type of stuff. Like, I've done things where like I use like a blanket to cover certain things, or like that. Like what's on that light is like, it's called diffusion. I've built-in diffusion. I use plastic bags sometimes to diffusion. But that's like kind of what you're talking about when it comes to like building levels.
Yeah.
It's like, first you shot like this, and then you use this kind of stuff, and now you're learning how to use these things. Like, yeah, that's true. And yeah, like okay, let me just say this. The reason why I went to Full Sail is because I was like up in New York. I was living in New York, and I wanted to go to a film school. Yeah. Mostly because I wanted to get away from this ex.
Nice.
And
getting to the root of it.
I was like, hey, get out of here, man. Nah,
like,
but
I want to go to school, but this bitch right here.
But it was during the pandemic, and I kept studying, and my best friend was like, "Bro, you keep studying. Like, what are you going to school for?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't. I just kept studying. I just like learning." And he's like, "You should go back to school."
Yeah.
Long story short, I was like, I'm going to go to film school. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do the best I can with that, and I chose like the farthest film school I could to get away from people. And like, I called like how you call like what is it? They're called like recruiters, or whatever. Like the people who,
like guidance counselor type shit.
Well, they talk to you about joining the school.
Yeah, I know what you're.
Like
I can't think. Yeah.
But like, I'm talking to the recruiter, and most of the time they try to get you to join the school. I'm talking to this one recruiter. He was like, "Okay, what do you want to come to Full Sail for?" And I'm like, "Oh, for film." And he was like, "Okay, do you record videos?" I was like, not really. And he was like, do you have an iPhone? I was like, yeah, I do. He was like, well, you have an iPhone that records videos and you don't record videos. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, maybe this school is not for you. And I was sitting there like, I'm on a treadmill. I'm like,
fuck? You're like, shit.
I'm like walking on a treadmill and Planet Fitness like this. Like,
way to fucking shit on my parade kind of thing.
But he was right.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what? I told him, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna call you back in a week, because why am I gonna go do something that, like, you know, spend like the tuition for a full sales $88,000.
Shit.
I mean, I didn't spend. I got a scholarship.
Yeah.
But
oh, nice.
Like I've you know cut it in half. I still have to spend money. But, excuse me. But like I gave myself a week, and I just started recording things on my phone.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it does start on your phone, and I started recording, editing, and I loved it. Loved every second of it. And I was like, yes, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And I started going to school and learning and like realizing there's a lot that I don't know. And because, all right, long story short, right? There's people who want to get into this. The story is what matters the most. The story is more important than anything. Like, you have a story, I have a story. If we want to actually provide value to you in any way, shape, or form, the story and the way you tell that story is going to be more important than what kind of gear you have, who's doing the lighting, who you want to sell this to. Like, the story and what you feel like you have to say is going to be more important than all of that technical stuff.
Facts.
But for you to be able to have someone believe in your story and for you to sell your story, you must understand all those technical stuff, all those technicalities, all that gear, all that, if you have a fair understanding of, if you know what you're talking about and you're like, I have this idea for a story and this is how I want to tell it. That's going to be the way you set yourself apart. Mm-hmm. You know, because I feel like I can tell a story and it can be boring. I'll tell you exactly how I got here in the drive here, and that will be entertaining to you. The way I tell it.
Yeah. Delivery is key.
Yes. But when people say oh, this person shot it on an iPhone, this person shot it on Alexa, this person shot it on a Sony, it really doesn't matter. Because there are kids from Florida who shot the Blair Witch Project, and it was all kind of found footage style.
Yeah.
It was shot pretty crappy, the way they shot it.
Yeah.
But it was shot in a way that was interesting.
Yeah.
It was in a way that you were like, I want to know what's going to happen next. That's how you tell a story. I want to know what happens next. If I could tell a story and you want to know what happens next, then that is great storytelling. There's no better way to tell a story than for you to tell it in a way where people are hooked and they're on the edge of their seat and they're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I want to know what's gonna happen. It doesn't matter what equipment you have. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't. All that shit don't fucking matter, bro. I'm getting hot, bro. I gotta chill out, bro.
Shit, no, but I mean that's real shit though. I mean it's real shit, you know. You have to have that fucking, you have to have that drive. You have to have the passion for it. You have to be able to, deliver whatever it is that you're trying to get across in a way that's digestible, And the thing about that is that, there's a million different ways that can be done. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way. It's just you got to find the way that's going to work for you. That's going to be able to let you to get your message across, whatever that message may be. So, and again, I'm learning that by doing this. I'm still, kind of backtracking a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is in podcasting, and where I'm gonna fit in, because I do, as of now, and kind of just me as a person, I am pretty well rounded. I'm knowledgeable in a few things that I'm very knowledgeable in, but I know about other things on a surface level that I can have a conversation and talk and navigate my way through. But then in that that allows me to bring people on to talk about things that I know a little bit about that I don't that me personally, I might be able to explain on the surface level, but let me bring this person on so they can, because they're more experienced in this field, so they can deep dive into it more. Not only am I learning shit, but I'm also giving that same information to whoever the audience is, at that time. So that's kind of where, for me, at least with the podcast, that I'm trying to, figure out how to blend that together to where, I have my core audience. I know what, they know what they're going to get when they come watch, but like also integrate the other parts of, my curiosity into this and not make it too much about one thing, if that makes sense. And that's, more people that I've talked to about it, they kind of tell me the same thing. You kind of have to hone into one thing, but like it's not in my nature to. And that's the hard part for me because, like, for example, like I could talk about music and sports all fucking day.
Yeah.
Love music, love sports. Those are two things that I played sports. I fucking have a passion for music, listening to music. I'm starting to get back into playing my keyboard. I got my turntables over there that I'm learning how to use and shit like that, so I can, be more on the technical side and be able to, explain it more instead of just like, I like this song, this is my favorite artist, what a blah, 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 all that shit. But in that, like, I do like here, talking about financial stuff. When I've had him on a couple of times. One of my closest friends, I've known him since we were 4 years old. He's come on a couple of times, and he's very much into finance and very much into the stock market and crypto and all this shit. So when he comes on, like, I'll ask him questions. Out of more so because I'm curious and I don't want to know, but in turn that's gonna educates whoever the fuck is listening to that particular podcast. 100%. And although that might not be my strong suit, I want to be able to provide that to whoever my audience is, even though my core audience might not be they might not give a shit about that. They want to just hear me talk about music, or they want to have my take on some whatever sport event is going on. But like, this shit is still beneficial. Like, this shit can help you out in the long run. Like, to me, financial shit is boring and like it fucking sucks. And I think money is not even fucking real in the first place. Like, speaking of fucking value, like a fucking dollar is not even fucking real for the most part. But like, I understand the importance of it in society, so it benefits me to educate myself on it.
100%, man. Yeah. There's so many. It's funny because like you say so many things, and I'm like, oh man, there's so many things I could say. And I don't want to get too like. I could talk for so.
Go ahead, though. We got time.
Brother. Yeah, it's. I mean, anything worth doing is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough because when you want to grow and what you want to do.
Talking to the mic a little bit more.
When you want to grow and what you want to do, sometimes you have to, like when you mentioned earlier before, how do you separate yourself, right? Sometimes you have to look up, like, okay, like this person does a podcast. How do they do their podcast? Okay, this person does filmmaking. How do they do their filmmaking? Okay, this person is like a good example. I'm gonna explain it in rapper terms.
Mm-hmm.
If I listen to some like artists that are not mainstream, like if I listen to certain like type of artists that are trying to make it in some way, and they talk like they rap like Lil Wayne, I'm gonna attribute them to being like, oh, they kind of sound like Lil Wayne.
Yep.
Oh, they kind of sound like Nav, or they kind of sound like Kendrick. These people that I mentioned, like, they have their own style, where like if you listen, like as soon as a song comes on and it's Kendrick, you automatically know it's Kendrick.
Yeah.
As soon as you hear Lil Wayne, you automatically know it's Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
If I put you on and you don't sound different, like to all the other people that have came before you, guess what? You're just gonna get flooded into like the midst of everyone else.
Yeah.
Even the people who were weird, like ODB. I listen to ODB. Guess what? I know it's ODB rapping. Method Man comes on. I instinctually, I'm like, oh, what? Like, like I know who that is, and that's what needs to happen with whatever craft you have.
Yeah.
Whether it be podcasting, whether it be filmmaking, whether it be like graphic design, like it does not matter. Like if I create a movie, people need to be like, for some reason, this movie has a similar style to this movie, and they're both great. oh, Christian Lee did it.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope. Like a Christopher Nolan film, like right away. You're like, whoa, like you're watching Interstellar, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is like that Inception movie. Guess what? Same fucking guy. Like,
yeah.
like he has his style. His style is, working with IMAX cameras that are so fucking loud you can't hear people like speaking in the movie.
Yeah.
So you gotta wait till you can watch it with subtitles. But that's his style. David Fincher has his style. Like, freaking what's the guy's name who does Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh fuck. Tim fucking
Tim Burton.
There you go.
I don't know why I blanked on that. Tim Burton has his own style, even though he didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas. But like, it's called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, he has his own style. It's so iconic. But you have to understand what your competitors, even though people might not look at them as competitors, like
your peers, if you want to be more professional.
If you want to look at it that way, like, because like, look, your podcast, right?
Yeah.
Hot Ones is also technically a podcast.
Yeah.
But they're a podcast about people just like asking questions while they're eating hot wings.
Yeah.
Like, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
There's a podcast that I forgot the guy's name, but he gets like rappers and other like famous people, and he just gets them drunk.
Drink Champs.
I think that's what Drink Champs. Like, they get them drunk out of their fucking mind, and then, like, they just talk shit.
Yeah.
Very simple idea, but like that idea alone sets them apart.
Yeah.
There's a podcast that I watch with this one guy. He's brilliant. He gets a bunch of people, and at the end of his podcast, he has someone leave a question. I don't know if they write it down. I forgot. I just like watched one of them. He leaves a question for the next guest. So when the new guest comes on, he's like, okay, so this question was left for the guest previously. Blah 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 blah. And they have to answer.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's dope, right? Like, that's what your competitors are doing.
Yeah. So
what are you doing to set yourself apart? And it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Like, but it's food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm no way in trying to challenge you. I want you to like, because the way I see my life and the way I see my craft, whenever someone finds interest in it, what do they see that I don't see that can probably help improve my craft?
Yeah.
Because maybe there's something like I might be like so focused on lights that someone might be like, hey, have you ever thought about using different lenses? Like these lenses add this type of look. And I could be like, oh, whoa, I never actually thought of that.
Yeah.
And then I can practice it and incorporate it and then find my own kind of thing. Like, maybe that's what I'm not focusing on that I could focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's all. That's all. I feel like you have to do that. I feel like any successful person is okay with criticism, and okay with not being the smartest person in the room, and okay with knowing that anybody can teach you anything. At any
if it's
point,
constructive, like, if someone was like, "You just fucking suck."
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like,
okay.
yeah, well, there's sure, but like, there's not really any there's not any value behind that. You're just saying shit for the fucking sake of saying shit. I mean, and now that I've been posting more on social media and shit like that, these reels, like, I've been getting comments, and I have takes that people agree with, I have takes that people don't agree with, and people
you get bad comments.
that's mostly what I get. Really? Like, I get a lot of likes, and the people that comment and unless I know them are usually criticizing and saying, but that is okay.
No, but what are they saying?
Let's read some of them, actually. Let's get on good old TikTok. I know some guy said that the mics are too inexpensive, and I'm like,
the mics?
Yeah.
But like,
literally, that was the comment. Your mics are too inexpensive.
Your mics are too inexpensive.
Yeah. I'm like,
so you're just saying you have shitty mics?
Yeah. I'm like, cool, I guess. I mean, these are Scarlett mics, so I'm like,
Scarlett Studios or Scarlett? I'm not an audio guy, so I don't know. The Scarlett Studios suck.
They've been good to me. So,
I know Sennheiser's good.
Ooh, let's actually go to this one right here. This was from a while ago. This was Me talking about Kanye West.
You're gonna have to like overlay this video on the video so we can like see the comments.
Shit. I'll try and do that. I'm not that good yet. But I was talking about just giving my opinion. And in the video, I preface it. If you go to No Hangover Instagram, it's the first video that's pinned. Literally, I was just saying that, in my opinion, I think Kanye West is the greatest artist of all time. All things considered, you know.
Strong opinion.
But I think there's a valid argument to it.
I mean, I don't disagree, but I would love to hear your points.
But there was people that were telling me, and the fact that they thought that I have this type of fucking, I don't know, like this type of fucking influence. Somebody told me that I dumbed down the internet. What is this shit? Get this guy off the fucking camera. Shut this guy up. Hell no. You just dumbed down music, dude.
You single-handedly dumbed down music.
And I'm like, I'm glad I have this type of influence. But shit like
so
that.
Powerful.
I mean, and you know, some of my sports takes, you know, I'm a big, you know, I think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. And
Disagree.
I don't think it's very close. And a lot of people will disagree with me. I think it's, you know, I think there's very, very little arguments that can really back up the fact that he's not. But, you know, I'm always down to have the debate. But, you know, I'll say that and people will be quick to, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, you like losing. You know, and just shit like that. And
you like losing.
And I'm just like, you know, when people are going out of their way to put those negative comments, to me, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Hilarious.
I'm invoking some type of emotion, which is, you know, kind of the space that I'm in. Yeah. If I have a certain take on something, or if I have a certain opinion on something, like.
Okay, besides those takes, do you have a hot take? Like on anything? I want to like the hottest take you got. Like the most controversial thing take you have on something.
Oh man,
President Trump's actually okay.
I mean, these political takes. I mean, any fucking political take is fucking gonna fucking piss somebody off. It doesn't matter whether you try to be PC or try to be in the middle or not, because with politics, I am very in the middle, and I think you know, both sides are full of fucking shit, and we're fucked either way. But you know, somebody's gonna take that and, oh, you're this and you're that and you don't understand and you're stupid and you don't see the bigger picture and all these things. But in my eyes, I'm like, I feel like I do see the bigger picture, because I'm not getting so caught up in the fucking bullshit that is politics, and I'm seeing it for what it is. I'm not saying you're right for liking one side. I'm not saying you're wrong for liking one side. All I'm saying is that if you're going to criticize one side, you can't move the goalpost when you're talking about your side because it fits your argument and you want to be right. That's all I'm saying. And people will, and trust me, I try to be as fucking in the middle as possible, because I talk to people. I have friends. I have loved ones that are on both sides of the aisle. And I don't think them liking one side or the other makes them lesser or stupider than the other person. I just think, you know, I think there's valid reasons for both sides. And, you know, depending on what you might value more, or what you're trying to, or what you feel like is going to be best for your future, in the sense, doesn't necessarily mean you're morally a shitty person. Yeah. And people will fucking look at me like, what the fuck? Like, how dare you? Like, you can't, like, how did you say that? How do you not see? I'm like, listen, not that I don't see it. I just don't think it's that deep at the end of the day. I think most of it comes down to us as individuals, and it's a lot easier to point the finger to something else that's the problem, instead of, like, you know, figuring out why you're feeling these negative feelings and making these extreme assumptions about somebody that you don't even know just because of how they voted one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too political, but I just think it shouldn't be controversial to say that killing people is wrong. It shouldn't be controversial that, like, you know, we shouldn't be killing civilians. Like, civilians shouldn't be getting killed. It shouldn't be controversial that everyone should be able to get basic human rights.
For sure.
It shouldn't be controversial that women should be allowed to, you know, choose what they like, what they do with their bodies. There should be, like, if we started off with a separation of church and state, then we should just have a separation of church and state.
Yep.
Like, I know a lot of it has to do with religion and the way people see the religious. practices and everything. Like I think the problem is that there's a really strong disconnect between the older generations and the newer generation, mainly like the oldest generation, like these old white people that are in office, and like the newer generation that's coming up, and then the separation of like the wealth disparity, like the wealth, the the gap that we have, like that is immense, and that's gonna affect us for generations to come. The next generation that's coming after Gen Z, like.
Nah.
It's we're gonna see the repercussions of all that. But that's pretty much all the take I really have. Like, humans are humans. Like, you guys are all imperfect. We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes. Like, if there was more love in this world,
man, I agree. I think it comes down to, like I said, I think it's more of a...
We need more love in this world.
I think it comes down to, it's more of a people thing than a specific group thing. I think a lot of people are, don't want to look within themselves. They don't, it's hard, it's scary, it's, self-reflecting is not easy. It's you calling yourself out on your bullshit, like, and, it's not fun. It's not fun. I've done it. It's not fun. There was times where I'm like, fuck, like, yeah, I need to change some shit up. I need to fucking, if I want to move up in this world, guys
need to be like, you know what? Maybe I am a little misogynistic.
But it's like, but that's part of it. And, there's so many distractions nowadays, and there's so many outlets, and the media is always telling you that it's not you, it's them. You're not the issue, they're the issue. And that's a lot easier to buy into and feed into than, no, actually, you kind of suck. Like, you need to figure your shit out. And
yeah, but fuck politics, man. I fucking hate talking about politics, man. Screw that shit.
Same, dog.
Art. Let's talk about the School of Athens.
Shit, what?
Let's talk about the Roman Empire.
What was your feature film? Like, how did that go? 'Cause I know that's something that
man. Okay. What do you want to know? Give me like a.
Fuck. Talk to me like I don't know shit. Okay. I don't like. First of all, I guess what it is about. First of all,
the feature film that I just shot. Shot in March. Okay, so the title is Secrets in the Sauce. It is about two rival restaurants. It's like a Hallmark type of film.
Mm-hmm.
Two rival restaurants, right? One is putting the other one out of business. And so the other, a guy from the restaurant is trying to figure out how to save his restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And tries to work that out with the restaurant over there, but meets a girl. And two rival restaurants, girl, guy. And,
so like some Romeo and Juliet shit, forbidden love type shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like they end up getting together. Well, they work that out. But yeah, it's a Hallmark type film, Hallmarky, like those type of films.
How'd you come across, like, how'd you get that role, that gig?
Where do I start? So all of my success has been because of my girlfriend. I have a true champion in my corner. She has literally helped me out in so many ways. She's brilliant. She's a genius. I will marry her soon.
Hey.
Yeah, she's.
Damn, I have a fucking bell in here somewhere. I just came back from a wedding and I want to fucking ring that shit. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
She's amazing. She deserves all the love in the world. Because times where I basically would just be playing video games, smoking weed. She would just apply me to hundreds of just different jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell this story real quick, real short. One job called me up and was like, "Hey, I need a DP for this feature film." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what's up? Yeah." And they're like, "Do you remember applying for my feature film?" I was like, "Yeah,
of course I do."
What's
who the fuck is
yeah, literally. I was like, "What's your name?" And they were like, "We need you to send a reel." The yada yada yada. Long story short, I get the job. I do a feature film for this guy. and it's called Bob from Vero Beach, which we just went to the movie premiere like a week ago, and it was great. Good turnout. It was a comedy based off of like the spin-off of like a remake of like The Creature from the Black Lagoon, I think. I think I said that right.
That's like from like the 50s, no? That movie?
Super old movie.
Yeah. All right.
But I did that film. It was my first feature film. It was as best as I could do. That's a whole story and a half.
Okay, I remember you telling me about this shit. Yeah, the dude was kind of all over the place and shit.
I'm not gonna drag it. I'm not gonna say nothing negative. But yeah, it was. I mean, he was clearly new. I was clearly new, figuring things out, and I was just basically putting out fires the whole time. Yeah. And then so two actors in that movie were they appreciated my work effort. Sorry, I'm like all stuffed up.
It's that tequila talking.
Literally. And they were like, "Hey, we want to do a movie, and we would love for you to shoot it. We're gonna do it next year." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, whatever." Because a lot of people they say things like that. I'm like, they never follow through.
Yeah.
These people follow through.
It's like you see an old friend out. Oh yeah, we should meet up sometime, and then never fucking see each other.
So that means never, right? Literally. But they they end up hitting me up, and they're like, "Hey, so we're gonna shoot this movie. We want you to shoot it. We want you to be part of the crew. Yada yada. But we're gonna give you the first movie I did had no pre-production, basically, right? So imagine you're doing this podcast, right? And you're just you have no idea who I am. Mm-hmm. No background story. We know each other from previous, but imagine you did this and you're you have no idea who I am. I'm just a guy in the seat, and you're like, all right, interview me. That's kind of how the first movie went.
Well, I mean, funny enough that you say that. I usually don't like doing that, and I usually rather meet person at least one time before. But the last 3 or 4 guests that I had on before, shout out to Geyser, shout out to fucking Nate, shout out to EA. Those were podcasts that we just did off rip. Lucky for me, I'm pretty good at just fucking, I did my little bit of research on Instagram and, search through their shit. So I had a little bit of background knowledge, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of, for me, at least it's, doing this, it kind of, I feel like it takes off a little bit of pressure. Cause I could just take this in whatever direction I want. There's not really any, yeah. So, but I can definitely see how it's okay, well,
no planning. I mean,
granted, something like that, I feel needs a little bit more structure and a little bit more
necessary because man, it's so hard to talk about it without talking about it. So basically,
it's an art form.
Yeah, it's an art form. So it's if you need to have if I'm the director of photography and I'm working with my director, we need at least as a shot list. Yeah. If I'm doing a movie, bro, I can't just be okay, what are we shooting? Oh, I don't know. Let's just figure it out. No,
on the fly, baby.
We're just wasting everyone's time. Yeah. One of the days I worked for 14 hours straight, barely ate, and I almost freaking passed out. I hate people who are oh, I'm about to piss out. No, I literally was seeing dots, and I was just I felt woozy and lightheaded, and I was I think I need to sit down. And then I was thinking, I think I was gonna pass out. And it's because I barely ate, and I was up for 14 hours straight, just fucking working. Yeah, bro, that's not healthy. That's not sustainable. That's not how you take care of your people.
It's not efficient either.
No, it's not. All right, so for this movie, there was 3 months before pre-production, which if someone were to ask me how long should you do pre-production for a movie, as long as you can. If you can do it for a year, do it for a fucking year.
And what is pre-production exactly? Just for the guys. So
pre-production is so every movie goes through 3 stages. Mm-hmm. There's pre-production, production, post-production. Production is what everyone knows. It's a shooting phase. Yeah. It's you get on set, we're shooting, we're lighting, we're doing all this, we're acting, cool, whatever. Pre-production is planning all of that. Okay. Excuse me. Everyone's favorite movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's a bunch of videos online that you could watch where they're practicing those shots. Yeah. They're practicing those stunts. They're practicing. That's all pre-production. Okay. All those practices are pre-production. Working with the actors, learning the script, all of that everything that you do prior to the film shooting to the shooting of the film is pre-production.
Word.
You know, so if you could have like a year pre-production, awesome. That might not always be necessary for the type of film that you're shooting. Like I'm shooting a Hallmark film. It's mainly like about romance and talking, and there's no like stunts. There's no special effects. Like we don't need a year pre-production. You know, the actors just need to be able to know their lines, get in tune with like whatever style they like technique they practice. They just need to practice that. And then when we shoot, I need to know like what I'm lighting, where I'm lighting, what I'm shooting with, when I'm shooting, what I'm what I'm shooting, like what order I'm shooting the shots in.
Yeah.
Like that all needs to be figured out because when I'm on set, I can't be like digging around figuring out like, oh, what are we gonna do next? Because everyone's getting paid.
Yeah.
And they're getting paid for the day. And if we have to shoot extra days because you don't know what you're doing, guess what? That production company is not hiring you anymore. Because you just cost everyone money. People flew in from New York. People flew in from LA. People like are driving like 2 to 4 hours. It's like 2 to like 4 hours from different locations. We're housing people.
Yeah.
People had to get hotels. Like a lot of money is going into this.
Yeah.
So we had all that pre-production. This is where the story gets good. A week before I have to shoot this movie, I got pneumonia.
Shit.
Yeah, in my left lung.
God damn.
Like, I don't know how I got pneumonia. Don't know how someone gets pneumonia.
But it happened.
But it fucking happened. I was in the hospital for 4 days.
Damn.
Bro, I felt like I was dying.
Yeah, that's just no joke.
Bro.
Because it's just like fluid filling up your lungs, right?
I don't even know. It's a respiratory infection. It's a bacteria. It's a bacteria infection. People say that you can't really breathe on that. Like I've had people tell me like, oh yeah, my homegirl had pneumonia. She was in a coma for a while.
God damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
Damn, I never heard shit like that before. God damn.
But like she had asthma. So if you have asthma, it's like
okay,
way
all right,
worse.
all right, that makes sense.
They kept asking me like, can you breathe? And I'm like, yeah, I can breathe fine.
Yeah.
But my fever just wasn't going down. So they kept me like they like have a I don't know Advent Health. I mean, shout out to them. They helped me get better, but they just kind of kept fueling me with drugs. And the day I got discharged was a day before we shot the film. So the day I got discharged, I had to go to 2 different locations, pick up equipment, reconnect with my camera operator that I hired for the project, pack all my bags, pack all my equipment into 2 cars, and then we drove 2.5 hours to West Palm Beach.
Nice.
To a hotel that my director, shout out to my director, Anthony Rodriguez, he's a fucking goat. He literally bought us a hotel because if we would have kept driving, we would have like an hour of sleep. I got an hour and like a half of sleep, which is great.
Yeah, in a bed at least.
That half hour means a lot.
That extra 30 minutes.
That extra 30 minutes be making a difference, man. But like we slept in the hotel. I woke up and then just started shooting a movie. Yeah. I'm still like coughing up a storm. Still like
quiet on the set,
bro. It was the worst, bro. I was like, there's so many times I was like, man, I gotta sit down. But like, luckily I had this other homegirl, Brooke. She was there. She'd like help me out.
Nice.
She let me go back to the hotel to sleep for like an extra 2 hours. That's all I needed. Because honestly, after that, the rest of the set, I was just pulling through, and like didn't take a day off. Fucking there was one day that we. This is how you know you love what you do. One day, we were like just shooting. It was like a busy day. It was one of the busiest days that we had. We were just shooting. And we had like 2 more shots in the scene that we had to do, that we had to get. And my director comes to me and he says, bro, we got to cut it. We got to end the day. And I was like, what? We were working for 16 hours.
Damn. God damn.
I didn't even feel like we were working for 16 hours.
Holy shit.
I was ready to go. I'm like, what? Why are we ending the day? Like, we got 2 more shots. Like, I got to get these shots in. Like, we got to finish the scene.
Shit.
Like, bro, we worked for 16 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
That's
a lot of hours.
It's a little, yeah.
You literally have 8 hours left for sleep if you're trying to get a good night's sleep, but you probably needed to still eat, shower, fucking unwind. So that leaves you like another 2.5, 3 hours. It's like, oh my God.
It's a bit of hours.
But hey, like you said, that's how you know you fucking love something.
I was not tired. It wasn't until I got like in my car, my girlfriend drove, and we were like 20 minutes away from where we were staying. As soon as I stopped moving,
that shit fucking hit you like a fucking ton of bricks.
Like me and my daughter knocked on the backseat. Like I was out, bro.
Oh shit!
That shit was rough.
Damn.
But shooting that movie was great. Loved it. Went by so fast because I just love what I do. And yeah, like damn, what else do I want to say about it? Like, there's a lot I could say about this.
Yeah.
There's a lot I could say about shooting. I'll probably be shooting 2 features next year.
But
One of them I can't talk about because I signed an NDA. One of them I'm shooting in February, and it's like another love story kind of deal. Another one that might happen, I don't know if I can talk about it.
Shit.
But
getting the exclusive scoop.
it's big. Like the budget's huge.
Nice.
God willing, that happens.
Yeah.
It gets greenlit. We're still talking to writers and producers to talk about investing. But yeah, it'd be the biggest project I ever work on.
Oh shit.
And the actors that they're thinking about getting on
They got names. Hey.
Like if I said the name, you'd be like, I know exactly who it is.
And I don't know shit. So
You might have a poster of them in here.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that narrows it down. Oh shit. Damn, that old geezer's still fucking pushing out kids too.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That's wild, dog. I could not imagine being 80 years old fucking having a newborn baby.
Well, yeah, the story, I'm not going to get into it because I don't know how much I can say.
Yeah.
We might not even have the rights to the film yet for this productions company.
Man, the film industry is a fucking weird one, huh?
It's super weird, yeah. I mean, because it's like you said, there's levels, bro.
Yeah.
There's levels. You want me to break it down for you? Like, anyone who wants to make movies, you could do it. You could do it, right? Because I'm thinking about doing this. And this might be a way, like, so I've been told, so don't go by my word. Look it up yourself. Do your own research. I've been told that, all right, are you familiar with Tubi?
Yeah.
They got some pretty expert level movies on Tubi, right? They have some good movies on Tubi, but a lot of them are really shitty.
Yeah, low budget shit.
Tubi will buy like very crappy movies. I watch some movies and I'm like, really, this got on Tubi? Like, you paid for it? So, from what I've been told, Tubi will buy your movie for like $30,000.
Oh, nice.
And that includes, I'm assuming that includes the rights, which means like they own it.
It's their movie.
It's their
now.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't own the rights anymore.
They still credit you though, no?
Yeah, they'll still credit you. I'm assuming they still credit you. They just buy like it's basically their movie now. Yada yada. If you worked on a movie for 3 months, which is how long I worked on this movie, right? I worked on it for 3 months, shot it for 10 days, and post production will probably take anywhere between 8 to 10 months, right?
And that's all like the fucking editing and
Editing,
the fucking
editing.
shit.
So I mean, if you have a good editor, it could take anywhere from another 3 months or to 8 months or 10 months. It depends. Depends on what you need, like visual effects, yada yada. If you work on a movie, let's say you worked on a movie for 3 months, then you shot it. So it's like 4 months of working, right? Mostly, it could be 3 months of working. If you did 3 movies in a year, and each of them were decent, like decent enough to be like, this isn't that bad, and then sold all 3 of them for $30,000 to Tubi.
Yeah, it's a nice year.
That's more than what most people make in a year.
Yeah.
At least that I know personally. I know a lot of people who probably make a lot more than that. My cousin, shout out to Lewis, he definitely has a 6-figure income. But,
good for him. Shit, we're working on it.
He's getting there. He's getting to 7, and I respect it. I do know people that make more, but like
the average everyday fucking.
But the average, Joe Schmo, I think is making about like $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
And right now with a restaurant job, you're not making more than probably like 35. Yeah. So like 2 movies give you $60,000 a year. 3 movies get you $90,000 a year. That's just one business idea I have.
Yeah.
Other ones include like, I'm not even gonna say, but But yeah, like, bro, like you could just spend 3 months. I mean, granted, editing all those movies will take you about a year.
Yeah.
So you're looking at making $90K to like 2026.
Yeah.
But like making $90K
It's not a bad
for
deal.
making 3 shitty movies.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Yeah.
Bro, like, why isn't anyone else getting on this? Like, what? Like, that's what I'm about to do, bro.
If
like,
you need an actor, let me know.
I'm gonna just throw some shitty movies out. Like, I'm just gonna write some shitty movies, shoot them. It's gonna be like, and I only say that because I saw some Tubi movies where, I watched some Tubi movies and I was like, I could have shot this better than that. Like, I at least could have shot that and it would have been 10 times better. Like, that's horrible. Like,
Tubi with the fucking shitty films.
Bro, like
Shout out to Tubi.
The framing was like crazy. The overexposed sky. Like, I'm like, bro, no way.
Bro, well, I mean, that's like Sharknado. That shit was fucking ass, and it became a fucking. That shit had a nice. They had like 2 fucking other 3 Sharknados afterwards. That shit is wild.
Money. These shitty movies make money.
Yeah.
Like, you can make money. You can literally make money. And I mean, the only thing, like, I'm not saying it like it's easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna take you probably like a year and some change to like get it done, but it's like worth it. It's fucking worth it. I mean, in my opinion, because I'm not gonna stop working.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm editing the movie, I'm not gonna be like, okay, well now I can just sit down, shit the giggles. But then like it gets worth it. Like, all right, I'm gonna give some game, a piece of game, and then we'll go off. Whatever. I also have to use the bathroom. I don't know if you want to end this or like wrap it up or whatever. It's been a while. Probably been like an hour, right?
Yeah, we got a little bit over an hour. Yeah.
I'll peep some game.
Word.
So low budget films, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go for about 10 million. If you get a low budget film, like if you're starting as a DP, you know, like get some work, yada yada. Like you get 3 to 5 years in the game, you get onto a film that's like $3 million.
Yeah.
That's the budget. So a DP gets anywhere from 1 to 3% of the budget. If you're a good DP, you probably get 3%, and you can also probably argue for royalties.
Yeah.
Royalties is a whole nother conversation. But if the film is shooting, if the budget's $3 million, and you get 3% of the budget, and you shoot for like 15 days, for however that pre-production process is, well, let's say 3 months. 3 months and 15 days, you just made $90K off of one project.
Boom.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. You heard it here first. Go ahead. Whoever's listening to this, start fucking doing what you got to do. Is go buy yourself a camera.
Obviously,
go find some actors.
Years of work to get there. Like, that's the part.
That's the kicker right there.
Yeah, you don't want to skip over that part. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Shit. Well, let's we'll just end it right here before you go. You got any social media? Anything you want to plug up? Anything you want to shout out before? Oh, go ahead. Right here, straight ahead. There you go. Yeah. Bye, Al. We out here. We doing it. You already know. Once he comes back, we'll finish this up. But like, comment, subscribe, rate. You already know what we do. No Hangover Podcast, baby.
All right. So you said what, socials?
Yeah, well, whatever. If you got, socials, if you want to shout out, if you want to, whatever. Your closing thoughts, final
shout
words.
Shout out to Fan the Flames. Shout out to Viral Vision Productions. Shout out to my brother, Mac Money Mills. He making his money in Bronx, New York.
There you go.
His family. Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow me, Cool Kid Rodriguez. I don't really have that much crazy shit on there. I mean, do I still? No, I don't even have dancing thing on.
Damn.
Yeah, Cool Kid Rodriguez is my Instagram. Don't add me on Facebook. I'm not gonna add you. I'm not gonna add you. It's weird. Yeah.
Some old people shit anyway.
Yeah. Everyone on my Facebook is people I know.
Yeah, family and fucking people from high school.
You got me on Facebook. I don't know who you are. Delete. Like, that's weird.
For real, but fuck, man. I'm glad and happy you're able to come on. We'll do this. We could do this a little bit more often.
Nice. I mean, wait till I do another project.
Yeah. See, I mean, shit. You have. Listen, more than the film, you have opinions. You're not afraid to talk, which is, some people are, and sometimes you find that out the hard way. So, I appreciate people that come on here that have something to say, whether it's, something profound or they just want to give their fucking opinion about something. And that's what I'm here for. This way, that's what this platform's for. I'm trying to give a voice to people, give a voice to myself, and fucking just put that shit out there and see what fucking throwing shit to the wall and see what sticks. So
every artist has something to say.
There you go. So, man, I appreciate you, brother. Another good one. This was episode 210 of the No Hangover Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Damn, y'all know that?
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, rate. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, all that good shit. We're not scared of criticism around here. Thank you
Kanye
again.
is trash.
Thank you again, dog. I appreciate it. Everybody love everybody. Deuces.